retreat. It's late March 2019, and I'd like to introduce you to.
Stinky Doggy, hello.
I've got a series of questions. Answer as briefly or as lengthily as you wish, or you can pass on them. What point in the retreat evoked the most positive emotion in you, and can you label that emotion?
In terms of positive emotion, I would probably say... I want to say intimacy, but that's not emotion, is it? What is it? How do we describe that in its distilled down form? Maybe love, actually. I think that answers that question.
What point in the retreat evoked the most negative emotion in you, and can you label that emotion?
I can think of two. I'm sorry if I can think of two. One of them is kind of fear, if I distill that down, and anxiety. Actually, anxiety the same, and also then grief. Yes. Sorry, did I answer that correctly, fully? Okay, thank you.
What point in the retreat brought you out of your comfort zone? What did you feel?
Being in the womb was threatening. I think I was expecting it to be comforting, warm, and relaxing, but actually it was claustrophobic and quite dreadful, I would say. That was another part too. Was when we were in chimp land, there were a few moments where almost like a subconscious fear that rose up quickly when people were being aggressive to me.
What point in the retreat was the most beneficial to you?
Can I just ask a question on clarification? When you say point, do you mean sort of like what task we were doing, or do you mean like
I guess emotion. What? It's not necessarily a task. It could be an emotion or an interaction, but any of those things.
Yeah, I was just going to say, I think like what I mentioned about my strategy, which I'd like to use, are you going to ask a more specific question for that answer in a minute, or can I say that now? Is that?
Yeah, I'd say whatever you need to say.
Okay, thank you. I think when we had a reflective session on day 2 in the afternoon, I guess I had a bit of an insight into how some of the things that I'd learned that I might be able to, practice like in daily experiences. Often in my kind of like working life, there's quite a lot of aggression. It's an adversarial kind of environment. So, and sometimes I can get, I guess it could be described as aggressive, maybe a bit chimp-like. So, I had a bit of a insight that I might be able to, at these times where that stressor appears, that I might try and think about what would the most evolved bonobo do. So yeah, I'm going to try that. That's going to be quite fun.
What was your experience of physical touch?
In most situations, it was very, it was comforting, nurturing, enjoyable, and playful and fun.
What did you learn about yourself?
What did I learn about myself?
Or put in another way, did it remind you of maybe certain ways that you'd like to be, or is there,
I think I don't often find myself being vulnerable. So being the little baby bonobo, and definitely experiencing like sort of the mum side of things, I did kind of I guess have a bit of a insight that I don't often let myself be nurtured very often. I think kind of like a bit in my personal life, but heavily in my kind of work life, I'm kind of responsible daddy, and to my own detriment in many ways. So being able to I guess it's about, it is being vulnerable and allowing myself to be cared for is very important.
What did you learn about bonobos?
I learned lots about bonobos, and I feel very inspired by like what bonobos can teach us. I mean, I think there's probably varying degrees of bonobo traits that we all carry around, but maybe lots of people have suppressed them. But I think the bonobos have got something very special actually. So I hope we can share more of that and unleash our bonobos.
How could you improve the retreat or workshops within it?
I think personally for me, I think I'm like probably quite cardiovascularly fit person, generally quite energetic. And I found it like it was pretty demanding and quite draining, emotionally demanding as well. So possibly a little bit more space actually to process some of that stuff. I think as well, like sometimes in the program there, like because there was a lot to do and a lot to work through, and then when the session stopped, there's still sort of still processing going on, and then it's time to eat food and then digest the food. There's a lot going on, so perhaps a little bit more space in the program. I guess you need to consider as well that I had some responsibilities in helping run the thing, so maybe take that into consideration too, because I was sort of helping with the meals and the stuff. But yeah, I reckon a little bit more space.
And finally, if you wanted to, how would you maintain your connection to the bonobo spirit?
Well, I often meditate, so maybe thinking about embodying or nourishing or cherishing bonobo energy during those times could be a good thing too. I also I think I kind of briefly touched on it before, but I think I'm definitely, when I'm in a conflict situation next time, which is going to be not very long, I can tell you, having to get on a plane for 24 hours, there's going to be quite a few options of that coming up in the next day. So I think I'm definitely I'm trying to program myself that as soon as I find myself in conflict, pause, think about bonobo, but another thing too, that's an internal strategy. Like, I don't know whether it's been planned, but like having a regular bonobo party actually could be a really good way of doing things. I don't know if you've thought about that.
Thank you.
You're welcome.